Life is full of beauty, but it is also filled with difficult truths. Many of us go through life unaware of certain realities, and when these truths reveal themselves, they often bring pain and suffering. However, through understanding and acceptance, we can transform this pain into wisdom and peace. Today, I will share with you 4 painful truths in life that Buddhism teaches us. These truths may be difficult to accept, but they hold the key to true inner peace and enlightenment. The first painful truth is impermanence. Everything in life changes: our bodies, relationships, emotions, and even the world around us. Yet, we often resist this truth. We cling to people, possessions, and moments, hoping they will last forever. But no matter how tightly we hold on, change is inevitable. Consider a flower. It blooms beautifully in the morning but withers by nightfall. We admire its beauty, yet we know it will not last. The same applies to our lives. Understanding impermanence helps us appreciate each moment fully, without attachment. Instead of fearing change, we should embrace it. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we learn to let go of suffering and cherish the present moment. The second painful truth is that suffering is a part of life. No matter who you are, you will experience pain, whether it is physical suffering, emotional heartbreak, loss, or disappointment. Many people believe that suffering is unfair, but Buddhism teaches us that it is an inseparable part of existence. The Buddha himself experienced suffering. He saw sickness, aging, and death, which led him to seek enlightenment. Instead of running from suffering, we must understand its nature. When we accept that suffering is inevitable, we stop asking, "Why me?" and instead, we focus on how to transform our suffering into wisdom. One way to ease suffering is through mindfulness. When we observe our pain without attachment or resistance, we lessen its power over us. Just as a storm passes, so does suffering. Every moment of pain carries a lesson, if we are willing to learn. The third painful truth is that we are not in control. We often believe that if we plan everything carefully, we can control the outcome of our lives. But the truth is, life is unpredictable. We do not control when we are born, when we will die, or many of the events that shape our journey. This truth can be frightening, but it is also liberating. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we stop resisting life. We learn to flow with life, rather than against it. This does not mean we should be passive, it means we should act wisely, while understanding that not everything is in our hands. A river does not resist the rocks in its path, it flows around them. We must do the same. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can trust in the present moment and respond with mindfulness. The fourth and most profound painful truth is that the self is an illusion. We often believe that we are separate individuals, distinct from everything else. But Buddhism teaches that there is no fixed, permanent self. What we call I is just a collection of thoughts, experiences, and perceptions that constantly change. Think about your mind. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? Your beliefs, emotions, and even your body have changed. The self you think you are is not solid, it is fluid. When we realize this, we free ourselves from the ego and its suffering. We stop clinging to identities, titles, and labels. Instead of asking, "Who am I?" we should ask, "How can I serve? How can I love?" The less we cling to the illusion of self, the more we connect with the world around us. We find freedom in unity, rather than isolation. These four painful truths, impermanence, suffering, lack of control, and the illusion of self, may seem difficult to accept. But when we embrace them, we begin to live with greater wisdom and peace. Instead of resisting impermanence, we cherish each moment. Instead of fearing suffering, we learn from it. Instead of trying to control everything, we learn to let go. Instead of clinging to the self, we open our hearts to all beings. When we live with awareness of these truths, we do not escape pain, we transform it. We move beyond suffering and into a state of true peace. This is the path of wisdom. This is the path of Buddhism. May you walk this path with courage, understanding, and love. May you find the peace that lies beyond suffering. Thank you for listening.